What's up, guys? This is Head and Pants, and I have passed the 100 subs mark, so I'm here to give you a Q&A. In the background, you will see two clips of games that I played. The first one was an AP Nunu mid, and the second one was a Jax Jungle. Anywho, without further ado, let's go ahead and start up with the Q&A. So the first question: how old are you, and what is your real name? My name is Jonas Ewing, or Jonas Leslie Gerhard Ewing. I have a middle name, and then I have two last names. Please do not give your children two last names. It's such a hassle. Where do you live? Right, and what is your age? I'm 19 years old. Where do you live? I live in the marvelous town of Ames, Iowa, which is, for the most part, pretty boring. It's the hometown for Iowa State University, but beyond that, it's not that interesting. Let's see here. When and why did you get into League? Well, my brother introduced me to it the summer before my sophomore year of high school, and right around then, Season 1 was about to end. But it takes me a really long time to get used to a game, especially since I had never played a MOBA before, so it took me a long time to become good enough to even consider playing Ranked. But over the course of the first year I started, the game grew on me, and I've been playing a lot ever since. Who was your first champion? Ryze was my first champion. When they started eliminating the items that gave him mana, I think it was like 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, I kind of lost my feelings for him, especially when they made it so that Archangel Staves, sorry, the plural of staff is stave, I always forget that. They made Archangel Staves no longer stack. My favorite build was Affine's Unholy Grail, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Rabadons, and then 3 Archangel Staves, but I'd trade out one of them for a Void Staff if I had to. The damage was just dumb. It was pretty funny. Where did you get your YouTube name? Well, summer name, whatever. Both of those. Well, Head and Pants was already taken as a YouTube name, but for Head and Pants as a summer name, it seems a little unlikely, but I was actually just kind of wanting something funny. And of course, the first thing that came to mind was Pants on Head, but of course, what a surprise, it was taken. So I reversed it and got Head and Pants, and it's kind of stuck with me. I really like it. What is your favorite role, and what is your best role? Right now, my favorite role is Jungle. When I first started near the end of Season 1, I pretty much only played mid. My best role has almost always been support, since I actually had an understanding of the meta. And until recently, support was my favorite role. And it's pretty much always been my best. But now, ADCs have just been a lot more abusive than they used to be, especially when I first started. The community is kind of going down the toilet, to be honest. So I've kind of gotten sick of it, and I've stopped playing as much support. Aiden Campbell asks, who's your favorite jungler? So I expanded this question a bit. What's my favorite champion in each role? For top lane, if I'm playing seriously, I like to play Jax, but if I want to have fun, I play York. They both get to do dumb amounts of damage while being tanky, so I really like that. In the jungle, I like to play Shen when I'm being serious, because as a jungler, you should be warding the enemy jungle, so that you know when you need to be counter ganking and so on. I'm really, really bad about that. So Shen, with his ultimate, kind of makes up for that. But if I want to have fun, I'll play Jax or Aurelia. And yeah, I know Aurelia's not supposed to be a jungler, but Feral Flare Bork Aurelia is pretty damn broken. In mid, I've always really loved Veigar, but AP Shen mid is really, really hilarious if I'm not feeling that great. So I really like to do that on occasion. For support, Nami is hands down my best, but when I want to have a lot of fun, I'll play Nunu or Alistar. And then for ADC, I used to really, really adore Graves, but now I'm leaning towards Lucian, since I've finally gotten the hang of him, and they made his dash free at all ranks. But if I want to have fun, I'll play Vayne. And let's go into the next page. Let's see here. What was your best experience in a single game of League? My best experience was actually this year. I was playing Nami support, and I was duoing with my buddy Steve. And our jungler got caught, so I threw out my wave and saved Nocturne in the process, slowed the enemy that was chasing him, and healed Nocturne. And then Nocturne proceeded to ult the enemy who had been chasing him, and we cleaned up the following team fight with no casualties. It was pretty fantastic. I'll try to remember to put a link to that game in the description below. Who gave you your first pentakill? Okay, this is going to sound completely ridiculous, but believe it or not, the first champion that I ever got a penta with was Rammus. I know, it sounds completely dumb. This was back in Season 2, I think. The enemy team was pretty much entirely physical damage. I think they had a Cho'Gath, but he was building tank. But they grouped mid and 1v5'd me. I came out with about a quarter of my health. I was actually the mid laner that game. Back then I didn't really have an understanding of what a meta was, so I was just kind of playing every champion that I played in mid. But anyway, in the game stats chat room, the enemy Cho'Gath actually accused me of hacking. It was kind of funny. Who's your favorite League team? Not to be rude, but I really don't care. I don't really follow the pros for a handful of reasons. The first one is that I prefer to learn through experience and actual commentaries as opposed to just watching pro games with shoutcasters. It doesn't work as well. I really like to watch ankle spanking right now. Another reason is that I honestly don't want to take the time out that I could be spending recording, because I don't really have the best rate of getting a good recording out between the League community being trash and my internet being trash, and that's hopefully going to change when I go to college in a few weeks. But anyway, I also think that the way pro teams get funded in the League, as with any sports like football and soccer, basketball, whatever, it's just really sad in my opinion, because the money is well deserved elsewhere. Honestly, I'd much rather have that money be going to colleges so that they don't have to have students pay tuition that's quite as high. That would be really nice. But then, lastly, I was raised in a household where sports teams and things like that were pretty much ignored because we were more of a book and movie family than anything else. So we just get into books and movies a lot more than we do into things like TV shows. Although I will say I am a very, very avid Whovian and Sherlockian, and I really like Buffy, and yeah, I'm a complete nerd, don't judge me. Anyway, why did you start YouTubing? I was actually inspired by Ankle Spankin'. He's a lot more popular as a YouTuber, but I just decided that I wanted to do things like that. I've played some games with him, and he's smart, and he's still really chill, and it's really cool. Like, have you ever had one of those moments when you're like watching TV or something or reading a book and said, like, I want to do that? That's pretty much what happened with me. What's your favorite thing to do outside of League? Well, I really, really like to read. If Emma's around, I usually read aloud to her. I'm currently working on getting her up to speed on a series called The Dresden Files, and the next book that we'll be reading is the one that has the first really major plot twist, and I'm really, really excited about it. So, yeah. Now we're getting into some of the more outside the League world questions. What's your favorite food? I don't really know anymore, but when I was little, it was spaghetti. If you wanted me to pick a place to eat out, that's pretty easy. I really love to eat at Hoo Hot. So there's that. Yeah, I honestly don't know what to tell you in terms of favorite food, but I really like Chinese. I'll say that much. I really do like Chinese, but I won't touch seafood. That is one of the little things. Anyway, what's your favorite color? Well, this is a quick question. Purple. Yes, purple. Don't judge me. I just really like purple. Okay, please don't judge. What's your favorite TV show? Um, honestly, I'm not entirely sure because there are a lot of TV series that I really, really like. Buffy. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this already. Buffy, Sherlock, Doctor Who, Torchwood, which is a spin-off of Doctor Who. Oh, Full Metal Alchemist. I really love Full Metal Alchemist. That's all that springs to mind at the moment. What games do you like outside of League? Well, honestly, I don't play a whole lot of other video games, computer games, whatever. Gaming consoles aren't really allowed in the house, because I still live with my dad for the time being, but I finally will be off on my own for college this year. But when I was growing up, both when my parents were divorced and when they weren't, both of them have agreed that video gaming consoles are not allowed in the house. So the only thing I've really had access to that I could use for this sort of thing is my computer. So internet games are pretty much all I've got. But Emma actually has a game on her iPhone and her iPad now called Doctor Who Legacy, and it's a 3-item swap game, but it also has sort of a combat element to it. So I think that's really cool, and of course all the characters are based on characters in the TV show, so it's really cool. And I recently found out that you can play that on Facebook, so I kind of spent 3 hours doing that instead of cleaning the bathroom like I had planned. But that's beside the point. I also, let's see here. When I was younger, I played Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and 4. Really, really enjoyed those. Portal and Portal 2 are definitely ones that I enjoy, and South Park: The Stick of Truth was pretty hilarious, I won't lie. I definitely enjoyed that. I think that kind of sums it up. What's your favorite beverage? Well, thank you for asking. Believe it or not, my favorite beverage is blueberry juice. Yes, blueberry juice. It's really good stuff. You would be surprised. At Thanksgiving, I drank a gallon of it in the course of 3 hours. It was so good, but I really regretted it when I needed to use the bathroom on and off for the next 3 hours. That really sucked. But that's beside the point. It was delicious, therefore worth. What are your plans for the future? Well, I'm actually hoping that I can get into the staff of Riot Games and start changing the community from the inside. Because, quite honestly, the community is trash, and I really love this game, so I want the community to grow and become a lot more polite and pleasant. Here in Ames, it's really hard to come by people in the Midwest who aren't very polite. So the League community is pretty much a war zone by comparison. And I feel like getting people to have good manners would just really go a long way. And getting people to just be more polite and considerate and tolerant of others even would just be really, really fantastic. So that's why I really want to do that. So anyway, because of that, I'll be going to I'm going to University of Iowa. Not Iowa State. That's the one that's here in Ames. But and my dad works at it. So if I was a sports fan, I would be considered a traitor. But regardless, going to the University of Iowa, and I'll be majoring in informatics, which is one of those majors that people tend not to know about. But what it is mostly it's about the distribution of data and how it affects the world, essentially. I'll be I'll be also minoring or maybe double majoring in psychology or sociology, just that I'll have a better understanding of how the community works. So that's my plan for that. Obviously, YouTubing won't last forever, but so that's my plan for when I stop YouTubing. Whenever that happens, it'll probably be a while. I want to do this at least through college, if not more. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums that up. What kind of music do you listen to? Well, this is one of those questions that I have been asked so many times throughout my lifetime and have never had a really good answer to. Let's see. Well, I really like comedy music. For example, if you've heard of "Cruel, Cruel Moon" by by Paul and Storm, that's a good example of the sort of thing I like. I also like Dance, Saturius Johnson Dance. That's a really good one. Code Monkey, also that and Dance, Saturius Johnson Dance are both by Jonathan Colton. Code Monkey was basically my anthem in high school. And it was basically the anthem of my high school church group, so yeah, that it was pretty awesome. Let's see here. Scroll down a bit. Blah 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 blah. I think that. Yeah, that's the last of the questions. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I'm thinking I might put out like a Jax Jungle before I do the AP Sona mid that I'm planning on doing. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and you guys will see me next time. Peace out.